Imagine a creature 2 meters tall, with long thin limbs, a triangular head, and enormous black eyes. Its movements are smooth and hypnotic, and its gaze literally penetrates into the deepest recesses of your consciousness. Sounds like a description from a science fiction movie. Perhaps, but thousands of people around the world claim to have encountered such beings face to face. Welcome to the world of one of the most mysterious secrets of our time, the phenomenon of mantids, creatures that, according to numerous testimonies, possess not only a frightening appearance resembling giant praying mantises, but also incredible telepathic abilities. In the UFO community, mantids refer to humanoid beings that physically resemble Earth's praying mantises, enlarged to human proportions. The first mentions of such creatures appeared in the mid-20th century, but this topic gained particular popularity in the 1990s, when reports of encounters with Insectoid aliens sharply increased. Witnesses described them as tall beings, ranging from 1.5 to 3 meters in height, with elongated limbs and a characteristic triangular head. The skin of mantids, according to witnesses, has a greenish or brownish tint with a chitinous texture. But the most striking feature of their appearance is their eyes, enormous, black, occupying a significant portion of their head and, according to contactees, capable of looking directly into one's soul. Surprisingly, images of creatures resembling mantids can be found in cultures separated by thousands of kilometers and centuries. Ancient Sumerian texts mention winged sages with insect heads who descended from the heavens to impart knowledge to humans. Egyptian mythology features depictions of deities with characteristic triangular heads and large eyes. Particularly interesting are the cave paintings discovered in various parts of the world. In Australian caves, archaeologists have found images of tall figures with disproportionately large heads and eyes, dating back tens of thousands of years. Similar drawings are found in North America, Africa, and even in remote regions of Siberia. Could this be mere coincidence? Or did our ancestors truly encounter representatives of extraterrestrial intelligence, whose appearance became imprinted in humanity's collective memory? If we believe the testimonies of contactees, mantids possess abilities that seem fantastic to us. The primary one is telepathy. Virtually everyone who claims to have encountered these beings speaks of wordless communication, of direct transmission of thoughts and images. James Miller from Arizona shares his experience. It didn't speak, but I heard its voice in my head. The voice was calm, ancient, as if it belonged to a being that had lived for thousands of years. It knew more about me than I know about myself. Another frequently mentioned ability is control over time and space. Many contactees describe the sensation that time during the encounter seemed to slow down or stop altogether. Some claim that mantids can materialize and disappear, pass through walls, and travel vast distances instantaneously. Sarah Johnson from Canada recalls, "When I saw it in my bedroom, time seemed to freeze. The clock on my nightstand stopped at 23 hours and 37 minutes. When it was all over, several hours had passed, but the clock showed the same time." According to UFO researchers, mantids rarely act alone. They are often described as supervisors or observers in processes involving other types of extraterrestrial beings. Specifically, many researchers of the human abduction phenomenon note that mantids are present during medical procedures conducted by grays, small humanoids with large eyes. Dr. David Jacobs, a history professor at Temple University and renowned researcher of the abduction phenomenon, notes, mantids appear in accounts as higher-order beings. They observe, control, and make decisions. There's an impression of a clear hierarchy, where mantids occupy leadership positions. This observation is supported by regressive hypnosis sessions conducted with people claiming contact with extraterrestrials. Under hypnosis, many recall that it was specifically the mantids who made key decisions during their alleged abductions. The question of why mantids visit our planet remains one of the main mysteries. Analysis of contactee testimonies allows us to identify several primary theories. The first theory is scientific research. Many witnesses describe medical procedures, studies of human physiology and genetics, Perhaps mantids are studying the evolution of intelligent life or conducting long-term experiments on the development of human civilization. The second theory relates to ecological monitoring. In recent decades, there has been an increase in reports of mantid encounters in areas of ecological disasters or places with elevated radiation. Some researchers suggest that these beings are monitoring the state of Earth's biosphere. The third, more troubling theory suggests preparation for some large-scale event. Some contactees relay messages from mantids about coming changes on Earth, about the necessity of humanity's evolutionary leap, or even about the possible relocation of part of the planet's population. In the internet age, the number of reports about mantid encounters has significantly increased. Social networks and specialized forums are filled with accounts from people claiming personal contact with these beings. Group sightings are particularly interesting. In 2010, in a small town in Mexico, 17 people simultaneously reported encountering a tall being resembling a praying mantis. All witnesses, interviewed independently of each other, provided virtually identical descriptions. In 2015, a similar case occurred in Russia. A group of tourists in the Altai Mountains observed a creature about 2.5 meters tall that, according to them, studied them for several minutes before disappearing, literally dissolving into thin air. Technical specialists are not left out of this phenomenon. There are known cases where mantid encounters are accompanied by technical anomalies, clock stopping, battery drainage in electronic devices, and radio interference. Official science approaches mantid reports with understandable skepticism. Most scientists explain such testimonies through psychological factors, hallucinations, false memories, suggestion, or even hoaxes. Dr. Michael Persinger, a neurophysiologist from Laurentian University, proposed a theory linking such visions to geomagnetic anomalies. In his opinion, certain electromagnetic fields can affect the temporal lobes of the brain, causing vivid hallucinations. Psychologists point to the phenomenon of sleep paralysis, a state where a person partially awakens, but cannot move, often accompanied by vivid and frightening visions. Descriptions of beings observed during sleep paralysis are sometimes strikingly similar to mantid accounts. Nevertheless, some aspects of the phenomenon remain unexplained from the perspective of modern science. Group sightings, physical evidence, and technical anomalies all require deeper study. The image of mantids has firmly entered modern popular culture. Movies, books, and video games use this archetype to create images of alien civilizations. The mantid theme is particularly popular in science fiction and fantasy genres. Interestingly, many writers and screenwriters creating images of Insectoid aliens claim to have been inspired by real witness testimonies. Some even admit to having had similar contacts themselves, which formed the basis of their creative work. Regardless of the reality of mantids' existence, this phenomenon has a significant impact on the psyche of people claiming contact. Many contactees report radical changes in their worldview after an encounter. Psychologists note that mantid descriptions often contain archetypal elements, ancient wisdom, superior intelligence, and connection with nature. Perhaps the mantid image represents a modern interpretation of the wise mentor or spiritual guide archetype. A curious pattern. Peaks in mantid encounter reports often coincide with ecological crises. During periods of mass insect die-offs, environmental pollution, or climate anomalies, the number of contact reports increases significantly. Some researchers suggest that if mantids are real, they may be connected to our planet's ecosystems more closely than we think. Perhaps their appearances are a reaction to threats to Earth's biosphere. The mantid phenomenon remains one of the most intriguing mysteries of our time. Whether these beings are real or represent a product of human imagination remains an open question. Thousands of testimonies accumulated over decades cannot simply be dismissed, yet scientific confirmation of their reality has not been obtained. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Maybe mantids are not physical beings in the conventional sense, but representatives of some other form of intelligence existing in dimensions inaccessible to our perception. Or perhaps this is a manifestation of humanity's collective unconscious, an archetypal image emerging during periods of global change. One thing remains constant: the Mantid phenomenon continues to captivate minds around the world, forcing us to question the nature of reality, the limits of human perception, and the possibility of intelligence forms radically different from our own. In a world where science makes new discoveries every day, expanding the boundaries of the possible, the Mantid story reminds us that the universe is full of mysteries, many of which we have yet to solve. And who knows, perhaps one day, we will receive a definitive answer to the question, do insectoids really live among us?